So I know the dollar bill was something that we talked about. If the problem is not with if my tube is flat and I have a blowout, so if it looks like an asterisk, right, a big asterisk, like a star, if it's a blowout, more than likely there's an issue with my tire and the tube ended up popping through the tire and that's why it became flat. So if you have a hole in your tire, most people don't carry an extra tire with them because that's this big old, rubber thing. It'd be really funky to carry with you everywhere. You can use a dollar bill to fill that tire to keep the tube from popping through. So typically you would fold this dollar bill in half, okay, so like this. You would lay it on the inside of that tire, okay, wherever that hole is, and it would help keep that tube from popping back through when you put the new tube in there, okay? So it's called a tire boot. They do sell these for like $3 to $5 at the bike shops, and they're just real big, thick stickers, but a dollar bill works just as well because it's got that nice, thick, fabric-y kind of material. So that's how you would use a dollar bill for your tire boot, okay? So that's if you have too big of a hole in the tire, like a side blowout or too big of a gash in the tire, okay? So again, putting this tube back onto my tire, back onto the rim, I'm going to start by putting the valve, which is right here at my logo. I'm going to start by putting the valve back into that rim. So you can see I'm dropping that valve into that rim. And then I'm going to start by massaging this tube in between the tire and the rim. So I'm very carefully going to place it back in here between the tire and the rim. Making sure not to twist or turn it. Making sure not to pinch it. Okay, so now that I've got my tube back on there, the rest of this you're going to try to actually kind of muscle on with just your hands. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press this into my belly, and I'm going to start directly across from where the valve is. So the valve is here, and I'm going to start directly across, okay? So I'm going to seat that bead, the bead of the tire, onto the rim and kind of hook it in there. So you can see I'm going to start here, and I'm going to pop it on and pop it on. So I'm going to work my way all the way back, on each side until I get back to the valve, okay? I'm going to work it on, kind of pinch it, pinch it, pinch it, pinch it, pinch, 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 pinch. When I get here, I may have to use the strength of those pull-up calluses that I've worked up from Kaya to get that bead back on. I'm going to flip it over so now the valve and the bead is directly across from me, and I'm going to use the power of my calluses to kind of pull that bead over that rim. Okay, so I finally got it over there. Looks nice and lined up. So if you can see up real close, there's this line on my tire, and I want to make sure that that's uniform distance away from the rim all the way around, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of pinch. I pinch and I look to make sure that I can see, that there's no tube sticking out, okay? The tube is fully inside that tire, okay? So I'm going to kind of pinch, pinch and look, pinch and look, pinch and look. It's all good, no pinches. It'd be a bummer to fill up this new tube with air and get a pinch flat because that new tube is between the tire and the rim. So make sure you do it right the first time, okay? So that looks all good. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my pump back on. So release that pin. Okay, releasing the pin. I'm going to put my pump back on. Lock that head in place. This is where this morph pump becomes super handy. I'm going to flip that foot piece and I'm going to fill up my tube with air. hear some air coming out, so I don't have that on quite as snug as it probably should be. Okay. Yeah, and I can feel it filling with air. All right.